CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. Hey, we're coming at you from Greenville, South Carolina. Welcome back to Streamline Conferences 2026. This man I'm about to talk to is Alex Bolan. He is with DigitalThinker.
That's
Alex, welcome back to CMMS Radio.
Yeah, man.
And thanks for having us out here. We just got off the stage.
Yeah.
And we were, first of all, thank you for having me as an advisory board member. It's a real honor for me. And we just got off stage where you introduced the advisory board and we engaged some questions and we talked about ideas about this conference. But the reason I want to catch up with you right afterwards is I want to really drive home for people, even that one person, why the community focus, the being intentionally focused on the community aspect of an asset management centric conference and all the things attached to it, the maintenance management, the strategies on team building and all those things, and not being an in-your-face selling event. Why that's so important and how that really came to be when it comes to your father, Tony, and why it works. And it's not meant to be a gigantic event. Let's get into that some.
Yeah. So, I think if I take my personal experience, which is I grew up with about 8 guys since I was 8 or 9 years old. We all went to the same church together, and we're still friends today, right? So 20 plus years later. And those guys have been a community for me personally, again, since we were young children, right? And we've grown up together. We all have kids now. But more importantly, those guys were here for me in the roughest parts of life, right? Like when I was at my lows, they were there to support me, and vice versa. When some others struggled, we were there to support them. And we try to put some dividers between like work and life, and that is important. You don't want to be hard in the paint all the time, but like they blend together. You can't be two characters, right? Like you can't be one person at work and one person at home. It's taxing on the soul. So the reason why community is so important is there's no better way to leverage knowledge to help solve problems than other people that have either been in your shoes or currently in your shoes, or can connect you with other people that have gone through that, right? One reason why I love just you as a dude and our interactions is you've introduced me to your network, the people that we got here, right? Like Howard and Matt and Joel and all of those folks. Like that is a direct connection to your community to bring them into this community. But at the end of the day, I think, and like George and I talked about on the panel, right? Like we're all passionate about what we're speaking about here, which is, how do we do things the right way? A high level of integrity, problem solving, not trying to sell a solution that may not work, right? Just to make $1. Like it's about supporting one another. And I think that's why it works, is because we're all here with the very pure intention.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, in my opinion, it doesn't feel fake or pushed on too hard. And, the whole reason of getting the advisory board formed to begin with was, I live in my little bubble, right, at DigitalThinker, which is like trying to run the company and also trying to put on the conference. I'm not in tune with what's happening everywhere, nor can I be. So I need the help from folks like you and Dora and Stuart to provide the feedback of how do we stay true to the mission? How do we keep the community element alive and not, forget that?
Yeah. And I think, it's an honor for me. And I tell people, I don't know if I've ever recorded it, but like, these are my people that kind of adopted me, and I found the real ones. I call them real deal pros, bona fide experts. And what's important about, so I kind of digress, but like when you talk about Howard Penrose, talk about George Williams, who's on the advisory board, but also part of what I'm about to say. We get Andy Gager here. We get Bob Latino here, and Brian Decker. I'm so glad to see him here.
Me too.
I'm
that dude's
so
incredible.
glad because we get those added perspectives and available knowledge from people that are these bona fide experts that I know I can connect people with, and I don't have to lose an ounce of sleep over it because they operate with the true integrity. Whereas, the reason I asked you about this, I wanted to record, there's a lot of conferences out there, and a lot of them are good and they're great, but they are not as focused on the community as they could be or purport to be, and I wish they could do a better job, but sometimes they become so big and they become about something else, and I'm not trying to crush them or crucify them. They have their purpose, right? But these kinds of conferences that aren't huge, that have a focus, but have people really available to have the conversations. I'm not saying, hey, all you vendors out there, you should be here because you can sell a bunch of stuff. I'm saying all of you EAM users and people that are working in asset management or the things related to it, if you need real help and you don't want somebody shoving a demo in your face and trying to just, hey, what can we sell you? This is the conference. And there's a couple of other ones in the world, but I'm very, very honored to be a part of it. And we get to use that intent to try to do good, and then people will make money, but you got to support the people that are giving that money to you. It's about them, and I think that is what you represent. I remember when you first brought me here and we had a conversation beforehand, and you're like, hey Greg, what do you think we bring you to Streamline? And I said, well, I'm not like a EAM user. I don't know a lot about it, and that was something back in the day I used to sell against, and I don't like big, nasty systems. And then you kind of explained to me, you said, yeah, but, your messaging and what you're trying to do is in alignment with what we're trying to do. And I said, you know what? I'll be there. Yeah. Let's do it, man. And it's, and this ride's just starting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really is.
It's really fun. Do you, so we're at a new venue this year, and I think we want to get some feedback from the users on that and some of the people that are sponsoring and all that. How do you feel it's been so far? Because this creates a new experience for you. You were used to a different venue, so how's it going?
So it's going way better than I expected, to be honest. I guess I set the expectation bar pretty low because it was very new, and I didn't want to have a preconceived notion of what it could be like. But we had some logistical and service challenges at our previous venue space. The team was great, right? Like the venue space aesthetically is incredible. Being downtown Greenville is also a lot of fun. So I knew it was kind of a trade-off because we're not on Main Street anymore, right? Like we're about 10 minutes from downtown. We're not far off the beaten path, but far enough. And so I was a little concerned about that. I was a little concerned about it maybe would lose its appeal a little bit, because that's part of like the fun of Streamline is coming to Greenville. Greenville's such a unique little, I say little city, it's kind of getting bigger these days, but it's a charming little place, right? And Main Street is real fun between the restaurants and some of the shops and the views, right? So I was concerned about that. But what I'll say is, we, so I know you know about the podcast we started at DigitalThinker, Stop the Madness, right? So the first couple episodes we did were all on hospitality, asset management and hospitality. So we got an individual by the name of Don. I can't remember his last name now. It's going to drive me crazy. But anyway, he was a pot scrubber that turned to general manager for Marriott, other hotels, and then became an independent consultant. And on the episode we did with him, he had a line that just has stuck with me ever since then. And it's, what makes a hotel or a resort, win is you have to earn the loyalty of not only your guests and your customers, but your employees and your team. Earn being the key word here.
I love that.
And, me, true red-blooded capitalistic American, I love that mantra, right? Because that's how I try to lead with Digital Thinkers. Like, I want to earn my business. I don't want to hand out. I want to prove my worth and my value. And so the reason I mention that is the staff here at this venue space, they have truly earned our business. Like they they have gone above and beyond to make sure we had everything ironed out beforehand on site. They have they've just been top notch, which has been incredible. And so, but the other trade-off is, and I mean, you remember, right? Like we had these 3 breakout rooms at the side of the hotel, and then we had our main stage across the street, and, going back and forth was a little tough. And we did lunch upstairs on the rooftop, which was cool, but it was hard getting upstairs. So that's why I say logistical issues. And so now here, everything is just right here, right?
Yes.
Like we got the main stage, you got the breakouts right here, lunch is right there. It's a lot more intentional on the togetherness. And so what I love most about, any conference, but what I love most about Streamline is, beyond having the pros like Howard and them here, but it's seeing, like watching Howard and one of my customers have a conversation at lunch. Like that's where the money is, because like I want them to connect, because Howard can teach them things and show them things that I never can, and help them out in ways that I can't. But then I can also work with Howard later and say, hey, what'd you guys talk about? How can I help EAM support them in your solution set? Because that's what it's about, is how can we make the solution work for them?
Yeah, this is the thing that a lot of people talk about, and we see it in pockets at other conferences. And this is not about, hey, like I said in the beginning, I'm not trying to crap on other conferences or anything like that, but this is a special event, and I'm skeptical, right? So I can say an event's awesome, but this one's special. What do you think is going to happen as we continue forward heading into 2027? For one thing, we don't want this to be a gigantic event with like thousands and thousands of people or anything. And one of the things I didn't get to say when we were on stage this morning is I think it's very important that it has a cap, because we want those interactions and side conversations and people getting real help. And I think that's something that matters to me. And this is all, the overarching thing here is the stewardship that we all want to maintain. Not a pun on maintenance, but we want to maintain, preserve, and keep having that stewardship that has that intentionality. And it sounds ooey gooey gushy, whatever, but it's the real stuff. If you think about, like for me, if I think about America and what it meant to serve someone, like even way before I was born, that's a thing that I think makes a real difference in how we actually serve people.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding, not financially, but with a lot of intangibles. And you see the conversation I was in before we came in here?
I was literally about to bring that up.
It's I mean, can you tell me a little bit about that? So you don't have to name drop, but that little story about how you were found and how this individual got to this conference.
Yeah, it is a cool story. So this wonderful young lady from Mobile, Alabama, who participated in the Family Feud last night too, right? And she was very passionate. She's just a fun personality. But yeah, she found DigitalThinker through our YouTube channel. They've been on Hexagon EAM for, I think she said coming up on 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah.
And I think she is not new to her role, but hasn't been there since it was implemented.
Yeah, she inherited it.
Yeah, she inherited it. And so, she's having a lot of challenges because of the initial implementation. And we talk about this a lot, right? Like things change. Leaders come and go, parachute in, processes change. The variables change almost year to year. And, I think that's what I love most about EAM is that it's flexible enough to help facilitate those changes without having to re-implement. Now, where the downside is if nothing changes at all in your system, the overhaul effect it takes 8 years later can be cumbersome, right? It can be difficult. But what was cool and getting into like your question about the community and the serving it, I'm going to go on a small tangent. I promise. Okay. I'm going to bring it home.
You're good.
So, I'm a believer in Christ, right? Like I'm a Christian through and through. And one of the things that I love most about Jesus' story is him washing the feet of the people, right? And back in those days, that was an act of like true service, right? If somebody got down and kneeled and washed your feet, because they're wearing like sandals and dirt, like people's feet were incredibly dirty, but it was also a sign of like endearment and love almost, right? That you were willing to do that for somebody. And so for Jesus to do that for people was a huge thing to witness, but it was also a very, you could almost say, intimate moment that somebody like Jesus was willing to wash those people's feet. So the reason I tell that story is like that's servant leadership in a lot of ways, and the act of it is comforting somebody and helping them whether it's in a time they need it the most, but it's more of like reassuring of like, I'm here to help you. I'm here. I care for you. I'm here for your success, right? Like I'm here to make sure you're okay. And to tie that in, how a moment like that occurred was with this individual. I met her at the registration table, and that's, when she told me about, she found us on the YouTube channel. She's like, gosh, it was finally like the training I was looking for. Like I could see the kind of burden coming off of her shoulders. And she was like, and I'm having just a hard time getting barcoding configured in EAM. Like, I just don't know what I'm missing. And I've been working on it for months and months and months and months. And I told her, I said, well, hey, it's more simple than you think. You're probably just missing a really small piece to the puzzle. Come find me later. I gave her my phone number and I said, actually text me. I'll get one of my guys to come down. We'll have you set up and operational in 30 minutes. Like, it takes no time. And I've got like a guidebook for you. I'd be happy to give it to you. Like, this is such a easy thing to do in EAM. It can be hard because it's like anything in life, right? Like you can get, you can over-engineer it or overthink it. You can get lost in your own way. But just telling her like, hey, let us help you. And it was just like I could see her shoulders, just lowering, or not lowering, but just kind of weight being lifted again. And like the look on her face was just like, man, finally, I've been, you could tell she's been hunting for this for months and months and months. And it's an incredible story.
Oh man, so I love the way the reason I'm kind of beaming up now is this is exactly what she was just talking to me about.
Yeah.
And what makes me happy about that is, we exist, whether we're providing technology or the support services behind it or the guidance on how to effectively use it and why it really matters from a team perspective and how to help them with adoption and get better team movement and buy-in and all that. That's the stuff. I'm a believer in this concept of retention is everything.
Yeah.
You can sell all you can sell,
yeah,
but retention is what really matters because we exist to solve a problem for each unique client.
Yeah.
And she is so happy about the available resources, many of which people could find on the internet right now.
Yeah.
With Academy.
Yeah.
They can find that on YouTube, folks. Because if you're struggling with your EAM platform, this is going to give you some actual guidance on how you can learn and set things up. Something as simple as, I need my team to have an easier way to interact with just the work orders because they don't do any of the reporting or any of that. They do the work.
Yeah.
They can find that there.
Yeah.
And I love that those resources are available.
Yeah.
And then if they need the real, hey, can you get out here? Can you come see us? Can you work with us for a week or two?
Yeah.
It's real.
It is.
That's what makes a difference when you get it across that, I'm going to say finish line, but more so you get it to that point where they can now start to thrive in what they already do and then start finding opportunities to do better because now they're getting that data.
Yeah.
And, the technology is a tool. We say it. You guys all hear it. We talk about this all the time. And we're not trying to beat that drum to annoy you. We're just trying to remind you that that's what it is. And this stuff's not as hard as people tend to make it, and they just need real help.
Yeah, they do. It's funny you mentioned that, right? Like I struggle with imposter syndrome because
me too,
right? And I think we've talked about this too before, right? Like I came into this phase of life not knowing much about the industry other than just growing up with it, and so I had the pleasure of being in a a manufacturing plant last week, and it was probably, I don't go in a ton, right? Like I've only been in probably 100 or less, but it was the most advanced thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was really cool. I mean, I'm talking the only people element in this place is the shipping and receiving dock, defect rework, and that's it.
And everything else was automated. Including, were they robots or more just automated systems?
So it's both. It's robots. So it's robotic arms, multi-axis. It's conveyors. There are even forklifts that are autonomous.
Yeah.
Which is really crazy. It's really crazy. And then even the quality component. So so it was a solar panel manufacturing plant. So as the panels are coming out of the oven that they have, they go through a scanning system. And I know, I say we love to hate AI from time to time, but this is an application of AI that I think is incredible. So like they have been able to train this, let's call it this AI model for imaging. It's not only just image like picture, but it's LiDAR and infrared scanning. So, they train the model on what does a solar panel right look like, and gives it as many of the right ones as it can, so it has a basis to understand what's wrong. So as the panels are coming through the line, in literally a second or two, it's able to analyze a solar panel to determine if there's a defect or not. And it immediately kicks it off. And that's where the defect rework comes in, because it does require a human touch. But, you talk about that quality component of being able to verify that the product is good, that's just mind blowing to me. Like, that's just such an incredible use of AI technology in there. But what I was getting at with that is, so we showed up on site to implement EAM for fresh implementation. Okay. And the facilities management team were not your typical facilities managers. And I've learned too, and I could be wrong. Like, I feel like facility managers can sometimes kind of get a bad rap of just like, they're, it's just these dudes that manage HVAC systems and stuff like that. Like, I don't think people really understand the complexities of facilities management, right?
It's way bigger than that.
And so I didn't have any expectations, but I walked into this and I was utterly blown away by the facilities management team. Like, these guys know their stuff. And I was real nervous to be in the room, because I was like, man, I don't know my stuff. But anyway, the point I'm getting to is where, like, partners like us, but the conversation you had earlier, right? Sometimes it just takes a fresh perspective. Mm-hmm. More importantly, somebody to just ask you, well, why do you do it that way? And if you can just open the lid a little bit, it's mind-blowing what can come after that,
Healthy curiosity and seeking to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff.
Yeah.
That allows people and organizations to go on a journey together that is actually going somewhere. You're not just lost out there.
Yeah.
And I think another thing about that facility I wanted to mention that you brought up was cleanliness.
Oh man, yeah.
And so many people think that's not a thing that's part of this journey when it comes to asset management, facility management.
100% is.
And it's reflective of something. Like, when you see these facilities, you already know, oh, I'm gonna learn some stuff from these people, even though I'm here to help them.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. I am always stoked to hang out with you and record, man. The conference has been great so far. Good. I know we still got the rest of the day to go. Yeah. Then tomorrow we've got more workshops.
We do.
And then people can start heading home, and we'll get together on our I guess people call it a postmortem. And
if you will,
our advisory board. We'll start structuring things for next year. And I just want to thank you for putting on
Thanks for being here, man.
An incredible event, man. And I'm encouraged for the future.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do this again, man. Alex Bolan, thanks for recording here with me.
Yeah, of course.
From Greenville.
That's right.
At Streamline Conferences. Folks, if you ever want to know about this conference, hit Alex up, hit me up, anybody on the advisory board. I talk about it all the time. Yeah. We're here. We'll have conversations with you. Brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.